So was Supergirl a good follow-up to DC's first new outing in Superman last year? Well, I'd say it's a mixed bag for James Gunn, but let's go through it. So right off the bat, I thought it was a bit weird that we had Superman and Supergirl as the first movie. I'm a big fan of Superman, and that worked really well. I mean, I thought it did a good job with Clark Kent being, I saw somebody describe him as flawless, Jesus, that sort of thing. And that's true. You need Supergirl to be different. And from that perspective, they got it right because, yeah, she's 10 years younger, but she's kind of wasting her talent, going off partying, blah, 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 too much. And that's good in the sense of that she's completely different to Clark, but I don't think she was very sympathetic at times. And this movie felt a bit rushed in terms of how they went through the story, which you'll get when you watch it. But at the same time, I appreciate that DC aren't trying to do the whole big origin story thing. I did enjoy the stuff they were giving us in regards to the destruction of Krypton and how she saw it from her perspective and some of the other people, like her parents, having a different perspective, say, to Kal-El's parents, or a different political view. But the origin stuff was quick. I appreciate that. That's why I didn't criticize Superman with the whole, oh, he's just lost his first fight in the opening crawl. Because do we really need a Superman lol one movie origin story? No. And I get with DC, they're trying to have a different feel to these movies, like for different characters. However, I thought this had a very Marvel feel to it. And I'm not saying I'm against that, but this early on, I thought it was unwise. And really, I think they kind of want to stay away from it if they can. But I get how her character fits that kind of. And sure, the plot's simple. You know, Ruthie, the other girl in this who's teaming up kind of with Supergirl, with Kara, like, girl wants revenge, dog's hurt, go help dog. That was another thing, actually. I thought there would have been more Krypton in this movie. And I like how they've added to the weaknesses for the Kryptonians, because that has been a problem in the past with Superman generally, and therefore was going to be a problem with Supergirl. So yeah, I'm happy this is laying foundations for better storytelling for the Kryptonian characters. And also, we've been waiting an age to get Lobo, and only an age because we've been hearing that Jason Momoa is going to be Lobo since time immemorial, probably since before he was bloody Aquaman. But he is. And yeah, Lobo seems sort of interesting and I could see where it goes. I'm not going to be certain that a whole movie for him at the moment is necessarily worth it, but I'll be open to it when it comes. Maybe he'll just end up being one of these characters that is in the movies and isn't actually part of his own movie. I think he will, but it'll be interesting to see what's done because he seems very basic right now. And the simple story's fine, but they kind of didn't land enough, I think, of the points that they were trying to make, and it was just a lot of the fights fell flat in my opinion, but at the same time, it looked fine, it was cohesive, and here's where I'm going to defend it. I didn't go into this expecting a great movie. I went into this thinking, when I went and watched Captain Marvel, this is a good point, I was expecting it to be an average movie, or average superhero movie, and it was. It was exactly that. So I was like, not disappointed, but I didn't go blown away either. This is how I felt about this. There's been so much criticism of the villain, and it's like, I'm going to defend them definitely here, saying you can't have villains that are always world eaters where they're going to destroy everything and then you need to up the ante every movie, right? This villain, campy, sure, didn't have a lot of depth, but they weren't trying to pretend this character had a lot of depth, unlike, say, Christian Bale's character or villain in Thor. That was lame. But this villain did the job of being sadistic, nasty, and they were always going to put, you know, Supergirl and Ruthie over him. But I do think, considering DC's had so many reboots, that you probably needed a stronger movie at this point to follow up Superman, which I thought was a strong start. And I'm going to say as well, the score was good. Look, I'm really looking forward to Clayface later in the year, which is, you know, going to be very, very interesting in the trailer. The sneak peeks gave me a lot of hope. With this, if you enjoy superhero movies for the sake of superhero movies, fine. If you don't have much to do and you want a decent movie, fine. If you're expecting something going, I need real value for my money and I want to come out thinking it's amazing, this isn't for you. And I'm not sure, considering the box office so far, if they'll do another dedicated Supergirl movie. I'm not sure if we need another dedicated Supergirl movie because, quite frankly, they've got loads of characters they need to introduce. And she can just be a part of the DC universe. You know, think of Guardians of the Galaxy. They weren't well known. Some of them will just hit and take off, you hope, and then be a big franchise. I don't think she's going to be one of them, but I think she'll be a solid character within the DCU. But what did you think? Did you enjoy it perhaps more than I'm saying? Did you think people were harsh? Do you think the critics were on point? Because I've seen so many people laying into it. Well, let me know below. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Your support is appreciated in this channel, and that's also how you get more content from here. Until next time, I'll see you later.